All right, in the terms of something is now happening, bros. Nothing ever happens, bros. Of course, in shambles because stuff is now happening. Breaking: Netanyahu says that if the U.S. Helps Israel assassinate Iran's supreme leader, so that be Ayatollah Khamenei, it will help end the conflict and make the Middle East great. We're gonna make the Middle East great again. This dumbass knows what he's playing into. Let's be honest here. The only reason why Israel even went ahead is more than likely because fucking Netanyahu decided to manage to whisper a bunch of sweet nothings in the ear of Trump and convinced him to allow Israel to go ahead with strikes in Iran. That's the only fucking reason. But you know, what do we got here? What do we got?
U.S. officials tell us that the president flatly rejected a plan, an opportunity that the Israelis had to take out the supreme leader. Do you understand his concern? My understanding is his concern is that this would escalate the conflict beyond where it is already.
No, it's not going to escalate the conflict. It's going to end the conflict. We've had half a century of conflict.
Again, Benjamin Netanyahu, why is he doing all of this? He just wants to maintain his own fucking power for as long as fucking possible because of, whoa, the simple fact that, hey, his fucking wartime cabinet needs to be maintained because he's got corruption charges swirling around him. If he fucking loses, because the Knesset was about to collapse, there was a vote recently within the fucking Knesset where it needed to pass. Otherwise, whoa, guess what? The shit would have fucking completely and utterly fallen apart. That shit barely fucking passed. His political position is not very, very stable because he's incredibly unpopular. Think about it for like 3 seconds. How many fucking people is this motherfucker at war with? He's been bombing Yemen, the Houthis. He's been bombing Lebanon. He's been bombing Syria. He's been bombing now Iran. He is at war with most, like, half of the fucking goddamn, I don't know, polities within the Middle East. Oh, and of course he's been bombing the fucking Palestinians. That's 5 different people that this motherfucker is bombing right now. So, whoa, crazy. People might be a little fucking upset with what's going on in the Middle East right now. Listen, I know what I may be saying here is a little crazy, a little radical, a little ridiculous, but maybe, just maybe, that's why people are not particularly happy with the behavior of Benjamin Netanyahu at the moment. I'm just saying.
Conflict spread by this regime that terrorizes everyone in the Middle East, has bombed the Aramco oil fields in Saudi Arabia, is spreading terrorism and subversion.
Hey, what was going on? What was Saudi Arabia doing at that time? Oh, they were bombing the Yemenis. They were bombing the fucking Houthis, not allowing fucking aid or medicine in, along with the U.S., doing a suffocating blockade, and we're just killing people. Maybe that's why they were doing that. Very, very, very cool.
And sabotage everywhere. That's the forever war is what Iran wants, and they're bringing us to the brink of nuclear war. In fact, what Israel is doing is
Okay, if that were the case, then why the fuck are you bombing literally everybody in the Middle East? If what Iran wants is the fucking forever war. No, you're the one who wants the forever war.
Preventing this, bringing an end to this aggression, and we can only do so by standing up to the forces of evil. Look, democracies.
Buddy, you were the one who started bombing the fucking Palestinians. You are the common denominator here. You are the fucking problem, my dude. You are the issue. Honestly, if you were to make this argument about your fucking self, then that would actually bring an end to all the fucking conflicts, now wouldn't it? Hoo, cheeky, cheeky, cheeky.
Have had to learn this lesson. You know, they faced a tyrannical regime, a radical, fanatic regime. For 40 years, I've been saying, actually 3 years after the establishment of this radical Islamist Ayatollah regime in Tehran, I said that the greatest danger, not only to the survival of my country, but to the peace of the world, is Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons. And they are on the...
Hey, I got something for you, Benjamin. Benjamin. You have been saying this as a fucking claim for the past 20, not even 20, 30 fucking years, dude. And there was a deal in place to stop Iran from doing that. It was called the JCPOA, and you managed to convince Trump to tear that shit up. Because again, for you, all you want is war. You are the one who wants the fucking war, not the Iranians, not anyone else, okay? You are the one who keeps fucking attacking people. Yeah, oh no, my ethno-state, it's in trouble. The fucking internal contradictions are starting to show up everywhere. Again, You're the one who's doing all the fucking bullshit lying at this point. You are the common factor. You are the root basis for all the issues. But, you know, whatever. We have to fucking sit there and believe that it's actually Iran that's doing this. What? Didn't one of these, like, dumbass motherfucking Zionists release a fucking goddamn video of, like, Paris being nuked by Iran or something? Let me look at this. Paris being nuked by Iran. It was the most fucking schizo shit I've ever seen in the planet, okay? It was so fucking stupid. It was like some AI generated video. It was so fucking stupid. Of like, that was put out by some Zionist of Iran. Is like, this is what happens if Iran were to acquire a nuclear weapon. They would fucking bomb Paris or in like 2050 or something with a nuke. And it's just like, that is the dumbest fucking shit on the fucking planet, dude. Like, why would they do that? What is the reasoning? Why would they? Like, why? It's just silly. It's ridiculous. Well, I can't find that video, which was really, really funny. It was one of the most ridiculous things I have ever seen in my fucking life. But quite literally, some like Zionist account was just like, guys, if we don't stop Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon now, in like 2050, they're gonna bomb Paris or something. Because that's like the exact same thing that this dumbass is also saying.
Brink of achieving that. So imagine what they're doing now without nuclear weapons. Chanting death to America without nuclear weapons. Imagine what will happen if they had nuclear weapons. And the
Quite literally, when I think even Ayatollah Khamenei himself explained this, when he said death to America, he's not talking about death to the citizenry of America. He's talking about the state apparatuses that exist within America. He himself, I think, has literally also said that, yeah, we have no problem with the people of America. Like, quite literally. They're not the problem. The problem is like, the people, like, the people that are running the country, running the state, right? I almost want to say, like, let me see if I can't find that. Ayatollah Khomeini, death to America. I'm really curious if that exists.
گله میکنن که چرا ملت ایران میگن مرگ بر آمریکا. اولا بنده این رو برای حضرات بزرگان آمریکایی روشن کنم. مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر ترامپ و جان بولتون و پومپئو. مرگ بر اینا یعنی مرگ بر سردمداران. ما به مردم آمریکا کاری نداریم.
Well, that seems pretty clear there, Benjamin Netanyahu. Not that I support the Ayatollah. I'm not really a particularly big fan of theocratic, like, religious extremist governments, but that's what he means by when he says death to America. That means that.
مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر شما چند تایی که اون گروهی که دارید اداره میکنید کشورتون رو. مراد اینه. حالا در این دوره اینان، در دوره دیگر هم دیگران.
Yeah, because honestly, to misinterpret that as like anything else, you have to be pretty blatantly dishonest. But then again, American media are pretty blatantly dishonest. Now, I guess like the counterpoint of like, well, you know, how do you know that he's not being blatantly dishonest himself? As far as I could tell with how, like, Iran has broadly engaged with a lot of geopolitics, I have no reason to make the assumption at this point that he's being fucking dishonest. Broadly speaking, a lot of people within America and throughout the fucking world are not particularly big fans of a lot of the fucking actions that, say, the U.S. is taking, broadly speaking, across the fucking world. They're not particularly big fans. Let's keep that. Let's be quite honest here.
بحث ملت آمریکا نیست. ثانیاً تا وقتی که دولت آمریکا و رژیم آمریکا همین شرارت، همین دخالت، همین خباثت، همین رذالت رو در اعمال خودش داره، این مرگ بر آمریکا از دهان ملت ایران نخواهد.
Whoa, so what he's talking about there is the fact that America continues with its military fucking adventurism through Israel, deciding to just keep attacking people and doing unjustified fucking bombing campaigns, is what he probably seeking means by America continuing its fucking wickedness of constantly bombing the shit out of people. That's the problem that he's fucking having. That's why he's saying death to America.
افتاد. من توصیم اینه که به اروپایی هم اعتماد نکن. در مورد آمریکا من از 2-3 سال پیش که این بحث‌های مذاکرات مربوط هسته‌ای
And when was this, by the way? Oh, this would have been soon after. Yeah, I believe that this was in fucking reaction to the tearing up the Iran nuclear deal, right? Yeah, this was because of the Iran nuclear deal.
من هم خصوصی به مسئولین میگفتم هم در جلسات عمومی در سخنرانی‌ها مکرر گفتم من اعتمادی ندارم به اینا اعتماد نکنید.
And he doesn't have like any particularly inaccurate reasoning for fucking believing that. What did Trump just do by listening to the stupid fucking speech that Netanyahu gave during the fucking UN, talking about how Iran still has their fucking nuclear test capabilities and sites, and they're enriching uranium to weapons grade, which was not true, by the way. The IAEA said, like, that's just not true. Netanyahu is lying. Trump didn't fucking heed the IAEA. He heeded Netanyahu and tore up the fucking nuclear deal. I wonder why these guys might be saying death to America.
به اینا اطمینان، به حرفشون، به قولشون، به امضاشون، به لبخندشون اعتماد نکنید. اینا مورد اعتماد نیستن.
Not even a signature can be trusted. It was signed at that point.
حالا نتیجه این شده که مسئولینی که اون روز مذاکره میکردن خودشون امروز دارن میگن آمریکا غیر قابل اعتماده. از اول بایستی این غیر قابل اعتماد بودن رو تشخیص میدادن، حرکت میکردن. امروز هم دارم راجع به اروپا میگم غیر قابل اعتمادن. نمیگم درباره مسائل مورد
I think it's pretty fucking clear and evident what is meant by death to America by the Iranians. But, you know, this fucking lying fucking motherfucker is never going to be truthful about that.
ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, to deliver it to every place on Earth. We're preventing the most horrific war imaginable, and we're bringing peace to the Middle East. And I believe...
Again, he's just saying this, and there's no evidence of this. It's a deterrence. It's the same thing the Libyans were trying to do, and then, well... you probably had a hand in convincing the West and NATO in order to fucking pursue that. Because, again, Muammar Gaddafi wanted to be like, yeah, I don't want to get invaded by any of these motherfuckers. Fuck these motherfuckers. Again, Muammar Gaddafi's not particularly great. I don't really like him all that much. But he wasn't wrong there.
That after our action, we're going to be able to bring the Middle East to new heights that nobody even imagined. You know, make the Middle East great again. Make it truly great.
Yeah, he's full of shit. Yeah, keep bombing the shit out of people. Whatever. Sure. Anywho. Iran seems to be cooked. I don't really think so, to be honest. Like, there's no reason to assume that Iran is really cooked, to be honest. They have a large stockpile of weapons. They're going to be able to drag this out and make the Israelis suffer for fucking every inch, basically. Like, it's not... Not really. I think the people who are probably going to suffer the most is, well, it's just going to be both sides that are probably going to suffer the most. I don't think Iran is really going to care about this as much. And since Iran, broadly speaking, has more people at its side in comparison to Israel, Israel is going to be the one who probably is going to end up losing this sort of war of attrition. But, you know, we have, like, a bunch of world leaders talking about, like, oh, yeah, dude, you know, Iran are definitely the bigger, stinkier players here. So... Got Mark Carney here, so was apparently basically begging to negotiate. Well, apparently that's not the case. They've canceled all nuclear talks, but we'll get to that. I also saw a headline saying that as well, but they've also canceled the nuclear talks. And this was about 2 days ago. Maybe something has fucking changed, but I like. Unless, like, there's been such a crazy, flipping of dynamics that, you know, we'll see. Iran's nuclear program has long been a cause of grave concern, and its missile attacks across Israel threaten regional peace. Again, who were the first to attack Iran? It was the Israelis, because Israel, or through Benjamin Netanyahu, more than likely got into Trump's ear saying like, hey, 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 if you want to get a deal with them, maybe, just maybe, if you let us attack them, try to stop their nuclear program, because they're still trying to enrich uranium while you guys are negotiating. If we attack them and go after them, then hey, maybe we can bring an end to all this, which was an obvious lie. Today, I convened our National Security Council to receive an update on the situation and to ensure that all necessary steps will be taken to protect our nationals and our diplomatic missions in the region. Canada reaffirms Israel's right to defend itself. Again, who attacked first? It was the Israelis. The Iranians didn't attack Israel. It's really fucking stupid. Yes, I do. Yeah, Israel, in terms of like the battlefield sort of situation, Israel is the one currently in control of the skies. The Iranian air defense has not been very effective in terms of sort of helping wrest control from the Israelis, because again, they have all those American planes, which are probably superior in comparison to Iranian planes. That's not hyperbole. That is true. Israel does currently dominate the skies. But the thing is if you dominate the skies, keep in mind, Iran is incredibly fucking mountainous. Very mountainous. And a lot of the main nuclear infrastructure that exists within Iran is deep under those mountains. Air power is not going to be able to do shit against that. Even like some of the main nuclear sites that exist, Iran is digging out tunnels inside of the mountains in order to connect those particular nuclear sites together to be able to prevent that. So I would probably say the solution, initially it was diplomacy, right? The Iran nuclear deal was doing its job. Quite literally, during 2015, it was doing the job. The IAEA corroborated 11 times, saying that Iran was following to the tenets of the deal to a T. That still didn't, like, again, we all know Benjamin Netanyahu, all he cares about is war with Iran. He's been like schizophrenically talking about this for the past fucking 30 years at this point, which is insane. The main problem here is Israel. So at this point, personally, I would just say, fuck it. Israel can't be fucking trusted. They are an incredibly belligerent, rogue state that can't be done anything with. So at this point, if we're talking about Iran as sort of like a safety for them in order to be able to continue to exist as a state, they require a fucking nuclear weapon, because the Israelis can't be fucking trusted because of how much more insane and lunatic and belligerent that the Israelis are acting. The main common factor here is the Israelis. And considering that Trump is the one who's in power now, who's been willing to give anything and everything that the Israelis want, crazy, who would have thought that the situation is going to be such that now for Iran to exist as a nation state, it requires for them to have a nuclear fucking weapon. Because no one's dealing with the fucking common factor here. It's the Israelis. They are the fucking problem. But, very cool. We're going to keep talking about the stupid line of Israel has the right to defend itself. Like, quite literally. Yeah, Israel is the guy with an you're on a date with, and he starts talking about all of his crazy ex-girlfriends unprovoked. That's pretty fucking accurate, to be honest. Like, they're the fucking problems here. We call on all parties to exercise maximum restraint and move towards a diplomatic resolution. Yeah, again, Mark, Israel's not interested in a diplomatic resolution. They don't give a fuck about diplomacy. They've never given a fuck about diplomatic resolutions. And I think, broadly speaking, every world leader, generally speaking, knows that. It's just that they can't upset Israel too much without upsetting all the fucking dumb fuck Zionists too much, because they'll have their schizophrenic conniption saying like, actually, you're like anti-fucking Jewish. Nah. Why aren't you fucking supporting our ethno-nationalist state? Nah. Ursula von der Leyen, who is the leader of the EU, just spoke with that Prime Minister, with Netanyahu. We are following developments in the Middle East with deep concern. I reiterate our commitment to peace, stability, and diplomatic efforts leading to de-escalation. In this context, I underline that Israel has the right to defend itself. Iran is the main source of regional instability. No. How many fucking people is Israel attacking right now? They're attacking Palestinians. They're attacking the Houthis. They're attacking Lebanese And they're attacking the Syrians. They're attacking Lebanon. They're attacking like 5 different people. Unprovoked. Because again, what does Israel want to maintain? The war cabinet. Because Netanyahu fucking understands that if the war cabinet goes away, his political situation and his party, his really weak coalition, fragile coalition, is going to collapse. And there's going to be an election where he's going to be more than likely voted out because he's incredibly unpopular. That is the problem. And there are corruption charges and trials that are currently swirling around Netanyahu, which as soon as he's out of office are going to pounce on him. And he's more than likely going to go to jail for the rest of his life. That is the problem. But what do we got? We got Trump. What do we have? What do we have here? From the big orange man himself. Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. Okay, keep in mind, we've talked about what this deal is. Alright? The deal that Trump proposed was just like, okay, you're not allowed to enrich any uranium, even for civilian purposes. Okay, like, are you going to give us sanctions relief then? Are we going to be able to trade on the world economy? Are we going to be able to use SWIFT? No, you get nothing, and we get everything we want. And that was Trump's deal to the fucking Iranians. That was it. Again, the only reason, quick reminder, why this motherfucker tore up the JCPOA is because it had Obama's name on it and not his. He wanted to have his fucking name on it. That was it. What a shame and waste of human life. Brother, like, you got convinced by Netanyahu, who probably sung sweet nothings into your fucking ear, of him playing into your, like, autistic fixation to try to be a fucking deal maker, and you decided to fucking go let them have the go-ahead to bomb Tehran. Israel is the problem. You are the fucking problem here, buddy. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Damn, shouldn't have torn up the Iran deal then because of, like, some schizophrenic conniption that Benjamin Netanyahu had while scribbling on a fucking supposed Persian rug manufacturing plant. Stupid. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. What does that mean? Who knows? Schizo. And now we have the contradictions, the internal contradictions of America First collapsing in and of itself. Ah, very good. America First means many great things, including the fact that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Make America great again. This was like a photo shot, like a screenshot posted by fucking Nick Fuentes, of all people, saying like, yeah, this is why I didn't vote for Trump, because he just wants to bomb Iran on behalf of Israel. That's really about it. So, that's cool. That's great. Fantastic. Somebody please explain to Cookie Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Again, hey, pro-peace coalition, by the way, conservative, what's going on with this? No, this is going to be a cause of fracturing of the conservative political movement. I'm all here for it, personally. But, you know, it's just, like, it's a complete fucking shit show. Obviously, like, Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are not actually interested in peace. They don't give a fuck about any of that shit. That's a complete farce. It's a lie. Like, the fucking right-wing populist idea and notion of peace is just being, like, retreating and secluding themselves from the world, which is idiotic and stupid for a lot of different reasons. But that's completely fucking different. Well, you know how it is with sacrificial MILF, with conservatives being buddies with one another. It's incredibly fucking fickle, and it's all just like power plays and games that they play amongst one another, which is ultimately fucking meaningless. But hey, if it causes political instability in the coalition, then I'm totally okay with it. Oh yeah, and keep in mind the G7 was currently going on at this moment. So President Trump cut short his visit to the G7 summit in Canada and returns to Washington tonight in light of the situation in the Middle East, the White House said. Potential for escalations? Well, apparently, you know, as this Israeli channel is saying, now I'm gonna be honest here, this is an Israeli fucking channel that's saying this. Take whatever is being said here with an absolute fucking grain of salt, okay? Nothing's fucking confirmed here, but Israeli Channel 14 reports that Trump is expected to sign an order within hours to formally enter the Israel-Iran war. We all know of all the assets that have been going to that airbase in the middle of the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia, that was being used to bomb the fucking Houthis. And, you know, some attacks were had, bunch of MQ-9 Reaper drones were shot down by the Houthis, costing the U.S. a pretty fucking penny. They lost 3 fucking Hornets, and then they stopped. So that's pretty cool. Great, fantastic. Reports also suggest the U.S. may have already begun strikes on Tehran. We'll see if that gets fucking corroborated by anyone within mainstream sources or news, but we'll see. Aircraft carriers, jets, troop movement. This isn't posturing anymore. It's positioning. Again, this is highly fucking speculative. But considering the fact that Trump immediately returned to fucking Washington tonight, talking about the Middle East, it's possible. Again, this could entirely be fake news. And I don't necessarily believe it until there's actual tangible reporting and some footage, something that's going on. But I wouldn't fucking put it past, like I've said before, if this were to fucking happen, this is going to make fucking Iraq look like Iraq is going to look like child's play in comparison to Iran. Very, very official, they're saying. And when they say that on live TV, it usually means it's already underway. This may be the moment the U.S. crosses the point of no return. Entirely possible. Again, still I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. And this person isn't incorrect talking about he can't do this without congressional approval. There's been so much power that's been concentrated because of fucking Obama through like all the bullshit he was doing with the drone attacks all over the fucking Middle East, Afghanistan, and Iraq. That whatever, who cares? Also, George Bush had a huge hand to play in for as to why the War Powers Act within Congress basically fucking means nothing anymore, and the president could just call war on whoever the fuck they want. So again, this should be taken with an extreme grain of salt. I wonder if this account that I generally follow has talked at all about any of the stuff that this Israeli channel is talking about. I don't think so, right? Explosions, more missile attacks, more missiles being coming in, blah blah blah, more attacks, yada yada. Don't think there's really anything too crazy. So again, shit like this should be taken with an extreme grain of salt. But, however, you do have to fucking goddamn wonder that, hey, let's be honest here. Given the fact that that Trump did leave the fucking G7 summit back to fucking goddamn Washington because of the situation that's going on. But it's entirely possible that the U.S. could enter the fucking war. I still don't think it's going to happen. Like, there's got to be some... I'm assuming that there's probably more than likely someone in there saying, like, that's not, like, a good idea. That's going to be fucking crazy. But maybe, I don't know. Who knows what the fuck could happen. This is an incredibly dynamic situation where anything can fucking flip on a dime. So, breaking. The White House is discussing with Iran the possibility of a meeting this week between U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. According to 4 sources briefed on the issue, and that's by Axios. Well, yeah, exactly, sacrificial MILF. Trump is a fucking complete and utter moron, which is why, at this point, we don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Anything can fucking happen at this point. Because we all know, Iran has canceled fucking nuclear talks, the next round of the nuclear talks, and this will happen during the fucking 14th, right? Why? Should be fairly fucking obvious. The Israelis started to fucking bomb them with seemingly the approval of the Trump administration. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, whatever, has confirmed to Al Jazeera that the next round of Iran-United States nuclear negotiations scheduled for Sunday in Oman has been canceled. Asked on Saturday, can we have clear confirmation that Sunday's talks are canceled? Araghchi responded, yes. So this was when, guess what the Israelis did? They started attacking Iran. Shortly after that, Oman confirmed the talks will not take place. A senior U.S. official later confirmed that the nuclear talks will no longer be happening. The official told the Associated Press news agency that that although the talks were off, we remain committed to talks and hope the Iranians will come to the table soon, speaking anonymously to discuss diplomatic matters. So again, at the very least, the U.S. is seemingly still open to talks, but again, given Trump's fucking fickleness, who knows exactly what's going to fucking happen at this point. So pretty much all that can be really said and really done at this point is crazy. Whoa. Who the fuck knows? It depends on what Trump does. Anything can fucking happen at this point. Who really knows? But from what I understand, based off of what Flying Man was saying, there was apparently an article saying that the Iranians were desperate for talk, and I'm trying to figure out why. Thank you for verifying my device, Wall Street Journal. Very cool. A battered Iran signals it wants to de-escalate hostilities with Israel and negotiate. Messages passed by Tehran through intermediaries seek a return to talks if the U.S. stays out of the fight. Okay, so they want to... So if the U.S. doesn't enter the fucking war, if they do manage to enter the war, which is what Netanyahu wants and is probably going to start pushing for, again, based off of this shit now, right? We can tell what he means by the rhetoric here, right? Assassinate the supreme leader, help us end the conflict, and make the Middle East great again. What Netanyahu wants is he wants the U.S. to join in. The Iranians don't want that, obviously. They're still willing to fucking talk instead of the table. Oh, God damn it, I can't fucking read this. So what? Iran has been urgently signaling that it seeks an end to hostilities and resumption of talks over its nuclear programs, sending messages to Israel and the U.S. via Arab intermediaries, Middle Eastern and European officials say. That's cool. Great. Fantastic. Is off. Khamenei doubts that nuclear talks... Khamenei, rather, not Khamenei. In a rare ministerial call, Europeans urged Iran to resume nuclear talks. Okay. Who gives a shit about what the Europeans have to say? They don't really have much of anything to offer here. Who the fuck cares about them? Israel issues Tehran evacuation order. Very cool. Not seeing anything in particular here saying that they're fucking desperate. And what do they mean by a battered Iran? I guess we can also technically say the same thing about Israel. They've also been, a bunch of missiles has also fucking dropped on them and shit. Like, it's a complete fucking shit show. We just have to fucking wait and see what happens. So it's understandable why Tehran and the Iranians initially canceled the fucking talks. But now they're desperate for fucking talks or something. Again, like I've said before, the Iranians never really wanted this conflict. They were willing to fucking negotiate with the U.S. The problem is who fucking was being provocacious? The one who fucking poked the bear. It was this motherfucker. This motherfucker is the problem. Him and his little fucking freak apparatchiks. Like, Bezalel Smotrich. Probably fucking Yoav Gallant. It's all these fucking dudes. Yeah, that's true, honestly. Yeah, this is also the same dude that had to be pulled away from the Pope's funeral to talk with Zelensky. Exactly, Sacrificial MILF. Like, literally, this fucking guy, or rather, Trump. Trump is, like, giving into the stupid, idiotic delusions of a guy, again, and this is the common factor here, it's Benjamin fucking Netanyahu, like, whoa, crazy. He just wants to keep his fucking war cabinet going for as long as possible because he knows that if he doesn't, the fucking government is going to collapse. That is the main reason why Benjamin Netanyahu is doing any of this. That is why. Well, we could talk about, like, what Trump fucking thinks and believes. He doesn't really think or believe in anything. Let's be honest here. He'll just do, like, whatever he thinks is going to be most efficacious for him politically. And depending on who speaks in his ear last, tells him what's going to be the greatest result politically for him, he's going to follow that in particular. He doesn't fucking have any actual beliefs besides, I don't know, making the world worse. And in terms of, sort of positions like Israel, Palestine, and the Iranian, and the whole conflict within the Middle East, he has no fucking idea what he's doing because he never gave really much of a shit of any of this. Like, he used to be against the Iraq War, then he was for the Iraq War, then he was against it, then he was for it. It turns out that if you have a fucking dumbass who believes in absolutely nothing, you're never going to get any fucking consistent results, and random bullshit is just going to ensue. Who would have thought that such a thing could be possible? So really all we can do at this point is, wait and see what happens. We know what Benjamin Netanyahu's goals are. He wants to maintain the war cabinet as long as possible to make sure that his government doesn't collapse. That's what this dumbass wants. Trump is just going to do anything in order to be able to get a political win. That's it. So, the Iranians are more than likely probably interested in having talks because they never wanted any of this shit. Israel wants this for obvious reasons, just because they're evil and they want to cause death and destruction to everyone. That's really about it. Keep in mind, these motherfuckers have bombed 5 different people at this point in time. Now they're bombing Iran. It's crazy. And Trump is fickle, believes in nothing, and will just do random fucking bullshit at the drop of a hat. So he can't be trusted or relied on fucking anything. The fact that we have to rely on the Iranians in order to be able to solve this fucking conflict is fucking insane. Honestly, get the fucking Chinese in there, okay? Obviously, the U.S. can't be trusted for shit. Nothing can be fucking believed from them. They'll just do complete random fucking bullshit, which is why everyone on the world stage fucking hates dealing with them, but has to try to placate them because, whoa, it turns out a stupid, dumbass, fucking petulant child with, I don't know, some of the strongest fucking toys on the planet is still fucking incredibly dangerous to have to deal with. And you need to know and deal with that fucking nonsense. So, pretty much all we can do, wait and see what happens. It's a dynamic situation, but obviously, I'm not particularly confident in the Trump administration's abilities in order to bring this to a conclusion. Think about it. This is also the same guy who said he would solve the Ukraine war on day 1. It's been over half a year, and you still haven't done shit in terms of the Ukraine war. So that's pretty cool. Fantastic. Excellent. So, whoa. Crazy. All of the fucking negotiations that this motherfucker Trump has gone through have completely collapsed. The Hamas talks have collapsed. The fucking Ukrainian talks have completely collapsed. The Iranian talks have completely collapsed. It's almost as if everything this dumbass fucking touches is always fucking collapses and becomes a complete shit show. Because again, this is a dude who doesn't understand or believe in anything. That is the problem. So it's really easy for dictatorial dumb fucks and far-right dipshits to just lead him around like a dog on a fucking leash. So much for the pro-peace coalition of Donald Trump and JD Vance.